It costs around 34 lakhs. It comes with a range of 521 kilometers, ARAI certified. This of course is BYD's Atto 3, its first SUV here and its first electric SUV. So what's it like? It has a funky interior, a powerful front wheel drive motor and features that make it pretty unique. We have it for the day nice and early, and here's our exclusive first look at it. BYD, or Build Your Dreams, is not your regular everyday Chinese EV maker. A company deeply invested in the EV universe. It's one that produces the safest and most technologically advanced lithium-ion battery in the world, the Blade. And that battery is on this car, the Atto 3. It's so good, even Tesla is likely to use it. But what of the design of this Atto 3? Now, Chinese car designers have come a long way, especially from the designs that had very derived looks. The Atto 3 has a character all its own, and it starts with this nice band of brushed aluminium and the manner in which it blends with these headlights. The blue elements look really nice, and you have these interesting areas, the nacelles there, which give it a nice sporty character. A sporty character is also what you get around the side. The roofline drops towards the rear, and then you have this interesting element here, this sort of fish scale treatment to this brushed aluminium. Very different, and it works extremely well together with this extended spoiler. Around the rear, the tail lights connect, and you have this unique Build Your Dreams name emblazoned across the back. Now, everybody may not like that, but it sure does give the car loads of character, and you can't confuse it with anything else. While the Atto 3 doesn't look very large in the flesh due to the compact and tight proportions, it measures 4.4 meters in length and has a 2.7 meter wheelbase. This actually makes it larger than rivals like the MG ZS EV at 4.3 meters and the Hyundai Kona at 4.1 meters. On the back, you get 440 liters of boot space. It's a nice square area where you can stack your luggage up, plenty here, and you don't get a spare, but you do get a puncture repair kit. The insides are much more radical than the outside. Now, first impressions inside the BYD Atto 3, and clearly this cabin has been designed with the designers given a free hand. There's probably nothing here that's traditional, not even the screen. Check this out. Portrait to landscape, and back if you want. And there's so many different elements here that make up the whole cabin. It's fascinating. Now, when it comes to the styling, well, there's probably half a dozen styles all mixed up here somewhere. There's this wave that runs across, done in brushed aluminium. This soft felt-like feature with these grooves in it feels almost like a cloud, and that's mixed up with these funky vents that are semicircular in nature and have this air volume control knob, which reminds you more of a radio than anything else. Also pretty nice are these Porsche type seats with the integrated headrest. They're nicely built. It's nice white perforated leather and blue go well with the red piping, and the double stitching here on the bolsters is pretty attractive as well. All in all, pretty comfortable, if a bit shallow for your lower back. The large 12.8-inch touchscreen has features on it that are seriously cool. The built-in dash cam for one is a feature all cars should get, and the 360-degree camera is clear and even gives you a ghosted image of the car. The small screen above the steering wheel, however, isn't practical, as you have to really peer at the small numbers. Now, what I have to say is that the build is impressive. Everything feels tough and well built. There are only few badly or ordinarily built plastics like these down here, and probably a few buttons around the steering wheel. But apart from that, it's nicely put together, nicely built, and good quality levels. There's also a fair amount of space in the rear due to the long wheelbase. Now you're sat pretty low, presumably due to the battery under the floor. So you're slightly knees up, but the seat is nice and long. There's good support for your legs. There's a good amount of leg room, and the backrest cushions you very nicely. The seats are nice and soft as well. You also get this massive sunroof here, so if you want to flood the cabin with light, all you got to do is open this and brighten up the cabin. Now an interesting detail is this door lock. Now watch how the LED lights up as my finger goes close to it. And this is not just a speaker, it's also a door handle. Now the floor is flat, so a third passenger will be pretty comfortable. And on the center console, apart from the vents, you also get a couple of USBs. There's a C and a normal USB here, and there's a pocket there to keep maybe a phone or a device. And another interesting bit are these strings tied here that you can actually play. It's pretty nuts. And another thing I really like are these Porsche type seats with the integrated headrests. They're nicely finished. You get this nice red double stitching and a couple of smart pockets here where you can put phones and other devices. So what's it like to drive? Well, first up, some crucial info. The front-wheel drive Atto 3 is powered by a permanent magnet synchronous motor that makes 204 horsepower and 310 Nm. The Atto 3 gets disc brakes all around, all independent suspension, and 215/55 18-inch tires. First up, the ride. Now the Atto 3 has got a nicely set up suspension. It absorbs bumps in a nice supple manner. There's a soft layer that insulates you from the road underneath, and even over some of the sharper stuff, it does manage to take a fair bit off. Yes, larger holes, larger ditches will cause it to thud through, but overall the ride is supple, comfortable, and pretty silent. It is also well insulated, the suspension. Driving the Atto 3 in a relaxed manner also is very satisfying. Now at low and medium speeds, the Atto is very nicely set up. The steering is light enough but has a good amount of weight. The throttle pedal is linear and delivers the right amount of acceleration, especially when you put your foot down a bit harder. And while the brakes do feel a bit spongy initially, press down harder and the stopping power really does come back. Push the throttle down harder and you can up the performance considerably. The motor responds in a sharper manner. There's a lot more grunt put through to the wheels, and while performance is strong, it isn't rip your face off electric car quick. There's a gradual build up of speed, and then it gets quicker and harder and faster, and yes, it does feel pretty sporty. With no real weight over the front wheels, it does spin them up momentarily, but the Atto is reasonably quick. 0 to 100 takes 7.3 seconds, and that's despite the 1750 kilo curb weight. It also has driver modes, but the difference between the various modes isn't too large. When it comes to handling, the Atto 3 steering feels a bit inconsistent, and the comfort-oriented setup puts a cap on the fun. What there also is a fair amount of roll in corners. Now this isn't scary or particularly disconcerting, but you do need to pay attention to it and throttle down a bit, especially if you are trying to enjoy a road. All in all, the best bit about this car is just how effortlessly it racks up the miles. It's smooth, power delivery is good, it's light and easy to drive, visibility is excellent, and yes, with that huge 500 plus kilometer range, you could really enjoy this car out on our highways. On an 80 kilowatt DC fast charger, the Atto 3 can go from 0 to 80% in 50 minutes. BYD for a limited time will provide customers with a 7 kilowatt AC charger, and along with that will come a 3 kilowatt AC portable charging box for charging external electrical appliances. The BYD Atto 3 has a lot going for it. It's smooth to drive, comfortable to sit in, has a cool looking funky cabin, gets a large well-configured touchscreen, and comes packed with a fair amount of safety and tech features. And while it's packed with ADAS features and some of them really advanced ones, we didn't really get a chance to test it properly, and we'll be doing that in our next review. The Atto 3 also has sufficient performance. It has a supple ride and comes with plenty of driver assistance tech. Then it gets one of the best and safest batteries around, BYD's own Blade cells, and a very healthy 521 kilometers of range according to ARAI. Expect at least 400 kilometers in the real world. The Atto 3, however, at Rs 33.9 lakhs ex-showroom is expensive. Rivals deliver almost the same amount of electric car for considerably less, and that could limit appeal. Still, if smooth, refined driving manners are what you're looking for, and if you like its sense of individual style, the Atto 3 could be the EV you are looking for. It isn't for everybody, but nor is standing out in a crowd, and BYD's Atto 3 will certainly do that.